Good evening, All-Star fans. How are we doing on this Wednesday night? Hope you're all well. Let me just work out why that was like that. Share screen, window. There we go. There we go. That's what we need, boys. How we all doing? Hope we all well. Welcome to Midweek All-Stars. Duggan here. Was going to have Hopkins with us, but rightfully so. He has went for City Madrid and buying Arsenal. And to be fair to him, he's the only legit professional manager in the league. So we can absolutely excuse him when he's got to do his homework for his UEFA C or B, I think he's doing at the minute. So yeah, no worries at all. So tonight we have a repeat of some of the fixtures that we saw on Sunday night, with some teams looking to exact their revenge. And as Rob Sloth has said, he's got the Vikings again, and he absolutely can't wait. We've got the drivetrain against the Steam Pigs. Steam Pigs, who got the better of drivetrain the other night and are scoring for absolute fun. Let's just have a little look at the Steam Pigs. They have scored 4, 5, 10, 20, 24, 26. What's that? 26 goals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 26 goals in 6 games. And they have won 3 on the spin and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of their last 7. So definitely, I think if we look at the form table, they're absolutely top of the pops in terms of the form table. And Savage, as you'll see when we get the team submissions, is got another crisis to kind of deal with after the Nesta crisis and the Figo crisis. This drivetrain team are a little bit cursed at the moment. A local fire against the Des Moines Demons, which we will push towards the back of the stream. Scotty's just on family business until around about 9:20, I think. Memphis Reigns against the Dandies, a repeat of Sunday night's fixture, where the Memphis Reigns had really had their manager back for the first time since the league started for absolutely valid reasons, and looked really good. Looked as though they were going to take all 3 points. Dandies made some in-game changes, kind of clawed themselves back into the game, and then an Archie back golden goal winner got them the 3 points. Vikings didn't look their best, but when you've got that man Maxim Sigalgo, who's got 7 and 7 at the minute with an 8.29 rating, is what you need to do. You've got the players in the right areas and you take the points if you get the goals. Rob Sloth's team are, in terms of the form table, just at the wrong end of that form table. Started really well, and they've looked a bit poor since. We then also have, where are we at? We then also have Pelham against Gators, which we're going to push back just ever so slightly. Dimble plays football on a Wednesday night until around about 9 o'clock. So just to give them some time to get back in. St. Domingo's Bisons, who have, after an absolutely flying start, have looked a little bit sketchy the last couple of weeks. Went 1-0 down to the Short Pump Sloths, ended up winning 3-1. Went 2-0 down to the Memphis Reigns, ended up winning 4-2. And then actually were just kind of muscled out of a bit of a 50-50 game against the Alcatraz boys on Sunday night. And then lastly, the Vikings against the Short Pump Sloths. So Tato asked for it. Mike and Tato are both here. So we are going to start with the Domingos. The Bisons, Hopkins is watching. What we'll do, Hopkins is watching. He's went as is, and he's. I've got a rough idea of his instructions. So we're going to go with the Bisons first of all, who do just make the one change with Mourinho coming in for Okoronkwo. Tato really keeping the faith with his tactic that served him so well in the Super League and getting him a star. And actually, other than just a little bit of a sketchy run lately, they have looked very, very good. And he is live in the chat here tonight, which does make a hell of a difference, as we've seen in terms of managers making changes. Just a quick note to all managers, every unhappy player across the league that was as a result of contracts has now been offered a contract in every single team. So that's no longer an issue. But there are players in Pelham and particularly in Drivetrain, which we'll come to when we play a Mike's game, that are unhappy about their league position in a League of Four, as Mike said, and he was furious with. Over the Alcatraz side, they go as is. It's a pretty stable kind of back 7 for them now. You just get the impression that Hopkins isn't really happy with this kind of front 3 or the 4 midfield and the 3 up top diamond. And that's probably reflected in the fact that they are the lowest scorers across all 3 divisions conferences by some. Are they the lowest scorers? Let me just get that right. No, they're one of the lowest scoring teams in the 3 conferences, and actually the Central Conference is one of the lowest scoring conferences in all 3. Definitely looks to be the weakest of the 3 conferences at this moment in time. Best of luck to both managers. Any predictions in the chat, fire them through. We go with the Bisons against Alcatraz, kicking us off on this Wednesday night. And there is Tomazzi with an early chance. Pizarro with an early chance now, and it's cleared. Inzaghi there has a chance for the Alcatraz boys, but doesn't quite put it into the back of the net. Rossini, all of the names that Tato wants to see are making an appearance. I think that was a booking for one of the Domingos Bisons boys. Keown in there. David's fouled. Quite a few bookings early doors within 24 minutes. There's the third one. There is Pierre with a chance, who is probably doing his best Johnny Halliday impression and becoming a bit of a cult hero. And there, right on cue, is Pierre scoring a goal. I think that's his 4th or 5th of the season so far. And the Bisons boys it is his 4th. The Bisons boys are 1-0 up at half-time. Big time to score a goal. In terms of performances, really, really solid from Tato. Just Nicky Butt, the recently sold Nicky Butt in Super League for Edgar David, and Claudio Pizarro and Zambrotta not doing their bit. Over to the Alcatraz boys, just really, really ordinary. ordinary from Hopkins, and that Pavel Nedved 6 in a booking, and not really been that effective as a lone MC against 3 DMCs. There'll be a slight worry for him. I'm not going to make any changes on his behalf now, given that they're only 1-0 down. But if it stays the same at 60 minutes, I will just do a couple of changes for him to chase the game. Tato goes as is, so we roll. And there is a chance, and there is Mendieta. Vita Bayer, who has been so good for Hopkins, was out of position. Rossini with a chance could have put the game to bed. Vita Bayer's on a 5. We're not going to change him because he's a bit of a hero for the Alcatraz boys and the Vikings. But I think what we do need to do is we do need to make a couple of changes on behalf of Hopkins. We will do that, and we will try and chase the game a little bit on his behalf. Over to the Bisons boys. There's only 1-6 now at the 60-minute mark. Bizarro with Nicky Butt and Gianluca Zambrotta, rather, having left their 6s behind, reflected in that strong performance. We've seen a Rossini chance, we've seen a Mendieta goal, and I think there was a Pier chance just before that as well. And we'll see what Sol Campbell 10. What a beast of a performance on 60 minutes that is. 9 out of 11 tackles, successful with 8 of them being key tackles. Pizarro off for Nikiforenko and Zambretto off for Petit. Swapping with Mendieta, and the rest can stay, and we roll. Let's see if the Alcatraz boys with those changes can get themselves back into the game. There is Rossini again. He's at least had 3 or 4 good chances, and we'll see that at full time. Brozic with half a chance. Alcatraz really doing their best to try and get in. There is half a chance put wide. And again, another chance for Alcatraz. They've looked a little bit better since going with that kind of middle spine and 2 up top and the extended wing back overs. Arrows rather. There is Candaya. We're going to have to go Robert Perez. And we're going to have to roll. Giggs, can they get a third? Rossini again. I reckon Rossini's had at least 5 chances there. 3. But didn't put any of them away. Assists coming from the subbed Zambrotta and also Damiano Tomazzi, who has looked pretty good for this Bison side. Not a lot of the ball, you'd say, but just really, really clinical. And Sol Campbell with the man of the match performance there with a 10, having made 9 out of his 13 tackles, 8 of which are being key. Alcatraz, keepers let him down there tonight. Vita Bayer's rating's a 7 or an 8 then, and it's probably a 0-0, and we're going to extra time. Edgar David's doing bits there. Tato will be loving to see that from the opposition, as that's what he knows he's bringing in the Super League. We are not going to go there. Tato takes the double header 2-1 on aggregate. Well done. Horse, cheers for pointing that out. We are not going to go there. We are going to go to Drivetrain Steam Pigs. Did Steve right say he was back in? Did I read that right in the old WhatsApp? Let me just check that. Yeah, Steve Wright's back from footy. Memphis, yeah, all right, Rocks, let's go Memphis. Although, yeah, you've got the Dandies, so we will go Memphis because you're playing me. Absolutely fine. Roxu has made a few changes. We have gradually moved away from the one at the back 3 up top that he implemented early, and certainly got back to something looking a little bit more familiar and stable. 3 DMCs in there, tacklers for fun, and then a front 3 of Jimenez, Ortega and Vieri, with Vieri and Ortega particularly looking lethal. Interesting, he's went Valtellina for MR. Potentially, I think I was expecting Ortega, MR, Saviola in that AMC. I think we'll see that change if Rox finds himself behind or in need of a goal. Yeah, I'll sort out screenshots, mate. Rox, if you just drop us a WhatsApp with anything you want from the save, mate, given that you've been out of action for a little bit, and I'll do it straight away when I do packs, mate. Just let me know. Over to the New York Dandies. They go absolutely as is from front to back and on the bench after winning 3-2. Dandies did start poorly. 3 defeats, 4 defeats on the bounce. They were one of those 4 teams that didn't have a win. And I've actually moved towards a more conventional formation and have been on a decent run of form, but just struggling for goals. Constantinu looks a little bit too green, and yeah, Horse again spotting with his player stats. That is the third keeper of the season for the Memphis Rains. We kick off. Memphis Rains did look the better team in the first half against the Dandies, and it did look as though it was going to kind of run away with it. There was Archie Back, got the winner the other night against the Rains, but there is Konstantinou. We said it was a little bit green, and it's green tonight, but it's green on the score sheet. Simkoviak involved there, Arca. Dandies also haven't been great defensively, so you'd think that Memphis Rains will be good to score at some point. Konstantinou with a spectacular drive, but hits it over the bar. Hell of a lot of action happening in this first half. Arca's name has been mentioned a lot. And we get to half time. Half kind of peters out. And this is the reverse of what it was on Sunday night, where the Memphis Rains went in 1-0 at half time. It's the Dandies who go in 1-0 at half time. And it is that man, Konstantinou, who got his first goal of the season on Sunday night and gets his second goal against the same opposition tonight. Over to the Rains, you've got Kovacevic and Valtellina, who really haven't seen much of the ball there. So, yeah, again, Rox's mad arrangement of his formation automatically made me assume this was an outfield player. It isn't, it's his keeper. So that would make sense. And then over to the Dandies. We're not going to do anything. Slight concern about that Barry Ferguson yellow card, but we'll just hop back. Robin, interestingly, hasn't had anything to do really, so we need to get him involved. And Martin Lawson with a 6 is an ideal, given that we've got a clean sheet. We'll just see what Rox is going to do, and it is just a short and sweet Castroman for Fabian. Konstantinou's goal was 3 minutes earlier than his first on Monday night. Interesting. Horsey's basically, for those of you that don't know, Horsey's trying to compile kind of an up-to-date player stats database. I'm trying to get a website over the line, and the two should be a pretty detailed insight into the save. We continue with that one change from the Memphis Rains on the wing, and we'll see if it makes a difference. Another booking there. Hell of a lot of bookings dished out tonight. Maybe the refs have. And there is Ortega. Rock's absolutely right to play him at AMC, despite me saying he should have been played at MR. And it does look as though the Memphis Rains are coming in. One Lawson and a 5. It's a bit of a worry. Let's get him off for Argel. Looks a bit of a liability in there. And I think we will go. What will we do here? We will go Ferguson for Tony. Swap for Sism. 2 up top. And like that. Jump over at the Memphis Rains, who looked right on top from that 45 minutes to 60-minute mark. 6s for Michelini and Jimenez and Christian Vieri, and nothing really to worry about in terms of conditions for Rox. So we will see what he does there as I just quickly check what the scores are in Europe at this minute in time. Still no goal in the Arsenal Bayern game. You would have got good odds on a full-time nils each in that match, I'm telling you now. Strange that. And Madrid against it, but 1-0 up against Man City. I think those could both go to extra time and pens there tonight. Evening, Dimble. Got to have you, mate. We're just Crespo for Jimenez. Where the fuck is it? Crespo's on the bench. Crespo for Jimenez. Swap with Vieri. The old Campbell swap strikers. And we'll see if the Memphis Rains can exact their revenge on the Memphis Dandies from Sunday night. They do look miles the better team at this minute in time. Can the Dandies get a sucker punch? Withholding the pressure, loads of pressure the Dandies are under here. You've got to think it's a matter of time before the Memphis Rains do. And it's a red one for Montero. Didn't quite catch what was done or what the offence was, but I'm pretty certain it's going to be a one at the back from Rox here. He doesn't need a reason to go one at the back. It was definitely something Montero had done to Konstantinou. Don't know if he was last man. Don't know if it's a penalty, but it was definitely against Konstantinou. Dandies obviously do have the option to go to change things up, given that it's a red card. But we may just mix passing up, I think. I'm not sure. See what Rox does first. It's going to be one at the back. I'm pretty confident of that. Worst case scenario, I think, for him, as he takes the arrows off the DMCs, drops one of the DMs in, goes 2-2 with Tetradze coming on at centre half. But we will see what Rox wants to do there. Let's just see what conditions are looking like for him. 88% and 86%. Nobody below 80. Tetradze for Crespo. The sub has been subbed, which we all love. The transfer for Crespo, and move him to DCR, move Vieri left, and make Ortega's Diagaro right. Like that, Rocks. So Vieri not central, but Vieri on the left. If you just clarify that, mate, given that you're playing against me, just take your time to make sure we get that right. Rangers drawn with Dundee as well. They've absolutely choked at Rangers, haven't they? Bizarre that. Is that a thumbs up to left? Yeah, brilliant, excellent. Thank you very much. And the Dandies, what will we do? Just really shit ratings here for us tonight. We'll just do a little switch there and extend the arrows, I think. In fact, no, we'll do that. And we'll see if we can get the winner, because that paid off the other night. Let's see who gets it. Memphis Reigns looked by miles the better side from 45 minutes to that red card on 71 minutes. Can the Dandies take advantage of the man advantage? Tony with a chance who doesn't get it in. Tony with another chance who doesn't get it in. Archie back Constantinu with a chance that doesn't get it in. And for the second time in 2 game weeks, the Memphis Reigns and Dandies go to extra time. Now, the Memphis Reigns have used all 3 of their subs, so we'll just see if Rocks wants to make any kind of system changes or tactic changes. Remember that he has the opportunity to change his team instructions as well. And the Dandies looked miles better since having that man advantage, and in fact the ratings have followed, so the Dandies are going to go as is. Just have a little look at match stats wise. Rocks is going to go as is, and so are the Dandies. And again, it'll be a race to the golden goal for these 2 sides. Can the Dandies get another golden goal against the Memphis Reigns for the second time in 2 game weeks, or are they going to share the points? Or are the Memphis Reigns going to get revenge? Plumpy with a tactical foul and going into the book there. Corner. Dandies have got to take advantage of one of these chances, otherwise they're going to lose the 3 points. Backs puts a retake free kick over the bar. What a ones each this is turning out to be. I cannot call this, and both sides are in it. Dandy's ratings have massively jumped up there to 8s, where they were 7s and 6s at half time. And we'll see what happens. We're going to slow this one down. I think this is a really, really good ones each. Memphis Reigns with the ball. Are they going to get the chance? Arca has fouled. Argel goes into the book now. They're probably going to get fined, these 2 teams now, for the amount of bookings. Back jumps clear. He's at the wrong end of the pitch for the Dandies. Beckham. Jeremy's held back Ortega. Jeremy's goes into the book now. That's got to be 7 or 8 bookings in this game. They're surely going to share the points unless one of these sides can do it. Jeremy's back. Free kick. Archie back. Can he do anything? Beckham back. Jeremy's to Tradze. And it's going to peter out to a draw. Probably deserved. Neither side deserved to lose it. 7 yellow cards and 1 red. An absolute battle in the Memphis Reigns stadium there between the 2 sides. Who gets man of the match? It's Juan Gomez, who really did put himself about. And I think, to be fair, both sides came under a hell of a lot of pressure at various different times. And, probably neither deserved to lose, but neither deserved to win, I think. So, yeah, well played, Rocks, mate. Good to have you back kind of with us and in the hot seat. And, back-to-back golden goals would have been a headline. But, yeah, enjoyed that, Rocks, mate. Dimble is in the chat, so we can go Pelham Gators. So yeah, Dims, I was just explaining at the start of the save that at the start of the show rather, that every unhappy player has been offered a contract now throughout the save. So other than like Figo for you or I can't remember who it is for Drivetrain, who have other grievances, then everything's sorted. Pelham go absolutely as is. And we'll see if some of their star players can start racking them up some points. They've been a bit stop-start, Pelham. Excuse me. And we'll see if Dimble can put a bit of a run of form together. The Gators, however, have been on a good run of form. They don't score many, but they're now unbeaten in 5 with 3 wins out of 5, and they find themselves hot on the trails of the Steam Pigs. This is how Dan goes tonight. Couple of little changes with Van Bommel and Totti in there, please. Can you sort Rob getting Gamora? Yeah, will you send us a WhatsApp on what that deal is, mate? Because I'm ignorant to that. So just chuck us a WhatsApp and I'll do it tonight. When I do packs, but Pelham Gators, big game this. Pelham scratching about for a bit of form. Gators who've been winning games but not really looking impressive. Gators win had really put themselves amongst it at the top end of the overall 12 table that Tato's putting together. But Palomar just streaking into it, and there is Montella with a goal, a big goal. He has been quiet early doors in the save, but he does get some good goals. It was part of the Sheva deal. Right, okay. There is Montella with a second. What a performance this is from Montella, and what a performance this is from Pelham. This has been what Dibble's been waiting for. Interesting to see who gets the assist here. I'm not sure if Dan is going to be live with us tonight or if he was kind of prior engaged, but Hofflin goes into the book, and this looks a very comfortable 2-0 so far for the Pelham boys, with Montella with a brace. Assist from Patrick Clivert and a bizarre assist from Sammy Hupia, potentially a knockdown, but Montella finds himself on a 9 already with 2 goals from 2 shots on 2 shots, both being on target. Over at the Gators, there's a 5 for Rui Costa there. He's a bit like Marmite. Rui Costa, you either absolutely love him or think he's absolutely gash. And tonight, Rui Costa has proven himself to be the latter. 6s and 7s there across the board. And straight away, Dan is in with some changes there. Drop Van Bommel back to DMC and Totti to MC with Arrow. So, yeah, we've seen Dan play this. And it is that kind of overload in the middle of the park that he looks for. And Totti does seem to be one of those players, one of those AMCs that is far more effective at MC than he is at AMC. We'll go to 45 to 60, and cheers to the lads for the swiftness of their changes. Jumps to 55 minutes. Ronaldinho has half a chance. We then jump to 67 minutes, and Rui Costa, who we said was Marmite, and who we said you either love him or you loathe him, has pulled his side back into this now. That is a very different click on 67 when Rui Costa has put his side back in the game. Although Dimble's ratings look really solid, that Vogel 6, I think we'll probably see him off for Kaluzhny maybe just to protect that becoming a red, as we've seen quite a few cards tonight. Condition-wise, nothing to worry about there for Dimble. And Joe Cole actually standing out as a 66%er. Agahawa for Cole and Kaluzhny for Vogel. I'd be really surprised if we didn't see that. Over at the Gators, without even seeing any ratings, Rui Costa on a 5 and a goal. You'd never ever see that with someone having scored and being on a 5 still. Dan, I'll just bring your conditions up just in case there's anything that jumps out at you. Nothing to worry about there. And Dimble has a question to answer, really, in terms of whether he sticks with this or whether he twists. Bayern 1-0 against Arsenal. What a massive goal that is. Joshua Kimmich, who is unbelievable, I think. What a player he is. And those are the changes from Dim. So he goes Agahawa to Cole, Ronaldinho to MC with a little arrow, Duff for Vogel, and that is it. We've seen this from Dimble a few times where he's deployed Mike Duff as a DMC. Interestingly, is that just being absolutely shit scared to hook Figo, given the Figo that has been in this save. There's an updated match stats report. Gators having had a couple of more shots on target, one of which being the goal, and we will crack on. Interestingly, across Super League and across All Stars, you've kind of got this standoff at the minute between the 3 DMC formation and then various incarnations of people playing MCs to try and kind of counter it. Viduka with a close call there. Viduka, a player that Dimble knows really well from various competitions. That would have been a sucker punch. Montel, can he get a hat-trick? Agahawa, can he stake a claim for a starting position? Figo with a free kick. Hoffland, who's already in the book, gets it clear. Mike Duff, Montella, Thuram chasing him. Ronaldinho, Figo, Kaladze. Superb tackle from Decour. Mark Viduka with a handball killed that counter-attack from the Gators. Rui Costa, Gators retain possession. You'd think that's it, unless they've got one more attack left in them. Totti, Viduka feeds it in. Roberto Carlos Festival makes a good save and holds onto it, most importantly. And Dimble looked really good for half an hour, but then actually struggled for a bit from then on. And the Gators really did try and do all they can to get back into that game. Montella, man of the match performance, didn't offer anything on target or off target from half an hour onwards, but still gets himself a 10 as the match winner. And that's a big win for Dimble in terms of putting pressure on Hopkins. Now Hopkins has been beat by the Bisons tonight. Unlucky for Gators, just weren't at their best, but away from home, the changes in play definitely had an impact from Dan, and the manager proving that he does deserve his seat at the chair. We are going to go drivetrain and Steam Pigs. The dominant Steam Pigs, as I said at the start of the show, 26 goals in 6 games. With the formation, that doesn't work. Steve Wright has got to be playing this in the Super League with Dudley Hill. I think whatever's happening here, Steve, you'd be an absolute lunatic to change it. Zanoni and Shevchenko injured, and also Steve has went a little bit more attacking in his MCs. So Rakelmi and Kula, the MCs, in spite of Zanoni being injured, and Shevchenko, who has been brilliant, is injured with 5 goals inside 2 games. Over to the drivetrain, who have suffered over the last couple of weeks, I think, with various injuries and various players being unhappy. Excuse me. Yeah, it's what Steve needs. More attack. 26 goals inside 6 games, and he's still not happy. Swiatkowski comes in on the bench, and Rivaldo and Maravicchia do give him a problem at ML and MR, but Boya and Delvecchio are more than capable of doing a job. Steve, let me just click on Zanoni's injury for them, mate. 2 weeks. And we will rock and roll with the penultimate game of the night, I think. There's another chance. Contra, who has been absolutely phenomenal for Steve in this competition. Rivaldo has been absolutely at the centre of everything. Drivetrain have done well. Delvecchio there. Shake hands, yeah. I think Savage is saying shake hands on a point. We get half time and it's nil each. Probably the least exciting game across the leagues tonight, with only 2 shots from both sides and only Steam Pigs getting them on target. Drivetrain really struggling to assert themselves with the headers. And Steam Pigs coming off the back end worse from the tackles. Michael Lowe not offering too much in that lone striker's position. It's 22 in 9. All right, my maths is bad. I'll surrender to you, horse. Although not nearly as bad as Tato's the other night, where he couldn't get his head around why the goals scored and goals conceded was the same across the league. Over at the Steam Pigs, we've again just really average ratings. Contra again continues to do unbelievable things for Steve. He's on track for an assist, nearly a 9 rating after 7 games. That is absolutely nuts and class. Mike Savage goes as is, and you'd expect Steve to probably go as is. He hasn't really got much on the bench, given that 2 of his starters are injured in Shevchenko and Zanoni. Just see what Steve wants to do, and then we will roll on. It will be Kitchen Dan on stream on Sunday night. Packs will be out straight away. I'll probably just catch the back end of the Arsenal and Bayern game, and we will go to 60, both of them. See who can get the. Yes, it was, and there is Albert on 52 minutes, on 50 minutes rather, who gets the goal, and there is Owen, who was, you probably could have made a case for him being pulled at half time, but he doesn't, and all of a sudden, 13 minutes after the half time, this game has come to life. We get 60 minutes drivetrain in play, and yeah, you do deserve all the abuse you can get, mate. George Atlas not offering that much on the DML side of the Steam Pigs, and be interesting to see what Steve does here from here. Potentially Rakelmi getting hooked for Nakata, but we shall see. Over at the drivetrain, Paul Scholes, the weak link in that MC position, which is really unusual for him because he's usually so good in there. And actually, Lee Boya and Delvecchio are doing their bit for the side. Certainly, Delvecchio's name was really front and center in the text. And yeah, Savage kind of says it's a mixed bag of performances there. It's both teams are really struggling to get anything going massive. Steve is going to make that predicted change, which is Hidetoshi Nakata for Roman Rakelmi, who continues to fail to really offer much in competitive champ. Not quite Zidane, but not far off. And we will see what Savage wants to do. Just give him a couple of seconds there, because we think it's It's probably going to be a big decision. Still Bayern 1, Arsenal 0. Still Madrid 1, City 0. Forward our own scores. Edmundo and Henry. Draws are boring. It opens them up, but draws are boring. Changes are made. Yeah, and we will roll to 90 minutes and hope the best team wins. This is the All-Star Atlantic. And there is Janachetta. An unusual, rare goal. Are the drivetrain going to be the people to stop the Steam Pigs in their tracks? And there is 3-1. The changes have opened drivetrain up, but they've absolutely made a hell of a difference and got the drivetrain the win. And they're a bit Jekyll and Hyde, the drivetrain. You know, there's times when they can look awful. There's times when they can look brilliant, like that half an hour there. And Savage just sometimes you feel just sits and scratches his head and think, what the fuck is this game? And the drivetrain stopped the Steam Pigs. Massive, massive result. And Janachetta, who maybe a couple of seasons ago across competitive champ was a bit of a laughing stock, but actually he's proved he's more than good enough to hold his weight with probably that third or fourth tier DMCs. A couple of big players just letting stay there down tonight. Yap Stam on a 5, Raquelme on a 6, and the Cat are not really doing much. And that is within the context of their division, although we can't see it, a massive win for the drivetrain. Brings us to our second last game of the night. So we are going to go with a local fire against the Mines. We're going to go short pump against the Vikings because we're going to give Scott just as much time as possible. The slots go back to this Burn Trident, the Alessandro and Gattuso in there with a DMC, sorry, a DML and a DMR, extended arrows to EMC, but the personnel does very much stay the same, just a slight move of the jigsaw. Over to the Alaska Vikings. Jens has prior engagements tonight as well. This is how he goes totally as is and keeps the faith in what has been at times a very, very good Vikings side. Sigalko got the winner on 90 minutes to edge them past the short pump sloths. And that short pump sloths, I was just about to say that short pump sloths formation looks a hell of a lot more solid and a hell of a lot more interesting. And they do put themselves ahead on 12 minutes with a goal from Mpenza. And there is Donny, who was probably being, I reckon, one of the early players of the season. And Imor's injury kind of extends his run on the side, and Vikings pull themselves back into it ones each. Half an hour played now. Short pump slots looking to assert themselves again. D'Alessandro with that little diag arrow into AMC. Can he be the spare man to make something happen? 38 minutes. Mackay goes down. Indirect free kick blocked. Gattuso trying to get in there again. And Donny with another chance. Short pump slots are against the grain here going into half time. And the Vikings, probably from 12 minutes onwards, from the time at which the slots went 1-0 up, did look the better side. 1 in 4 headers won for the sloths, and we'll see who are missing those headers. And it's all the names you kind of wouldn't want to see missing those headers at the back, really. And Pens are missing 2 out of 2 headers and a 5 for Roy Keane. Roy Keane, who hasn't been fantastic, hasn't been bad, hasn't been great. Probably sums up and is indicative of Sloth's overall season there. Recoba, Guerrero, and Mpenza all struggling to really get a hold of the ball and influence play. But that's how Rob Sloth is looking. We'll just have a look at Jens for when he gets back and when he catches up with the stream. And there's just going to be a straight swap from Rob. That's brilliant. And we'll roll to 60 minutes. Oh, and it's a red card for George Costa. Red card for George Costa, and that is a problem for Rob. And Roy Keane is on a 4. Wow. A 4. Fuck me, that's bad. He hasn't really got a natural centre half on the bench. Kuto can play there, but not fantastic. Does he go one at the back? Is Rob Sloth batshit enough to put Roberto Ayala against Maxim Sigalko in a 1 at the back? The answer is yes, but surely not tonight, Rob. Surely not tonight, my man. That's in. He's saying Keane off, Kuto on, and do you want the Alessandro keeping like that, Rob, or do you want him centralised with the arrow? What do you want done there, my man? You can just let me know if you want it kept or if you want it changed. Ones each, Man City equalise. Just seeing that flash score come through. Yeah, in the middle. Okay. If you let us know if you want the arrow on, mate, and we'll put it on at 60 if you want to put it on. Can the short pump slots do it against Sigalco FC with 10 men, 58 minutes, indirect free kick, and we do stop on bang on 61, just short of 60. Dimble there. This is Balak at AMC away from the original slots. Yeah, it's probably one of my favourite ever Super League sides, that original slots with the three up top. Fucking brilliant. Let me know what you want to do there, Rob. Potentially drop one of the AMCs with the Alessandro and get more Kerr on maybe, or Kejman with the two up top. But we'll see, given that you've only got 10 men over at the Vikings, unless there's any significant injuries. Yeah, you'll have to let me know what you want to do with the spare defender there, Rob. Ryan Mackay, can't really justify taking him off. Yeah, so who's going one at the back, and where's the other defender going? Guerrero. Rob, I love you, mate, but that's the least clear change I've ever seen. So one at the back, Guerrero for Kesman, three up top. So there's Guerrero for Kesman, three up top. That's sound. That makes sense. Gattuso in with Di Alessandro. Yeah, but then what do you want to do with Couto? Him in there like that, like that. Look at that. Look at that. It looks like what's that? Oh, looks like a little, yeah, brilliant, fantastic. Okay, mate. Listen, you do you. I love you, and I hope it comes off, but I don't see it working. See Roberto now with a chance to whip it in. Owen Penza, hard tackle. Donny with a chance. Sigalco, fine save, double save from the keeper. Cuenca there. Donny, Sigalco, Desai, Emerson. It's all Vikings on 87 minutes. Saeed, Emerson, and there is the 90th minute goal from the Vikings against the Sloths. This for the second time inside two games. It's been absolutely fucking hammered. And there's already calls to get Tefas in and to get Alfie in from Dimble. Yeah, I do wonder sometimes if Rob's been fucking part of nuclear testing or whatever. Like, Ibrahim Saeed with a 9 and a man of the match performance, and the manager didn't even need to be here. Roy Keane for 1 tackle out of 10. Class. I think we're seconds away from a Roy Keane for sale shout from Rob there. Brings us to the last game of the night, which is with Scotty and Dan. Des Moines Demons do submit a new tactic file there tonight, but there's just a slight tweak in the personnel with Johnny Halliday missing out for Mario Stanic. Again, contracts have been offered there to those that are unhappy. And this is how their local fire go tonight. This is how they go. They won last time out, first win of the season with a Rafael van der Voort brace. That is how they look. And, against the Pelham side that we've seen just dismantle a Gator side. And there it is, Keane is for sale. As sure as night follows day, Keane is for sale, offers in for Roy Keane. If I don't hear from Scott, if you can hear us, mate, if you just give us a nudge that you're here. I've seen you say you're going to be slow on subs. I obviously do have some pre-instructions from you that I'm just going to whip up, and we will go with those if absolutely needs be. And I've got fucking really bad heartburn tonight. Des Moines coming into it there, 41 minutes played. Chance there for the local fire, and again another game that goes nil-nil at half time, but all of the other 2 games that were nil-nil at half time did spring into life. We'll bring Mega Horse up there. Patrick Vieira 5. Is it a night where DMCs are just throwing the towel in tonight? Can they not be arsed? Is there something better going on? Scotty goes as is. Thank you very much. We will just go over to Dan and see what Dan wants to do. Some mad offers going in for Roy Keane. Rob, if you let everybody know what you're looking for, mate, I've got Cafu. I do Cafu for Keane. Keep as is to 60 from the Horseman, and as is still 60 from Scotty Sandler. Mike Savage in with a Justin Walker for Keane. Off the bar. Was that Alan Smith off the bar? Patrick Vieira is now in the book. And there is why Alried. Oh, and it's offside. Jacques was offside. Patrick Vieira's upped his 5 to a 6, but he is in the book. And we all have our superstitions. And I think a DMC or an MC on a yellow with a 6 is bang on for a red. Just really average ratings. Dyer, they're the only one imposing himself. Plenty of options in terms of positional options for Horse on the bench. Over to the local fire, Cerebral West having a blinder at the back. Other than that, pretty average. Rio, again, not offering much for the local fire boys. Scotty definitely open to him going. Harasimovic comes on for Alan Smith. I haven't got Harasimovic there, mate. You said Harasimovic for Park in your 24, but you didn't tell us on the bench. Yeah, sorry, Scotty. You said Harasimovic for Park in the 24, but you didn't ask him to be on the bench. Ah, right, that came really late, mate. So your Harasimovic on the bench instead of Cabello came in at like 8:30, bud. Yeah, I'd already set up by then, mate. I thought those were just your in-game changes. Yeah, sorry about that, mate. Missed that. So yeah, if you let me know what you want to do for Alan Smith, leave it. And then Extaburia off for Yahaya. No arrow on either striker. Volodenk off for Stanic. And switch with Bauma. There we go. And we'll see who can get the winner. 63 minutes played. Are we heading for another extra time tonight? Jacques puts it high and wide. Feels like our local fire are massively on top. Rob Sloth offering Ronaldinho for Keane, even though Dimble hasn't made the offer. Van Nistelrooy with a chance. Bauma on Yahaya with his first goal for Des Moines Demons. Our local fire have looked so good there tonight. And Des Moines Demons, again, have snatched a win. I think they did that earlier in the season. Snatched a win there with their only shot on target. Really unlucky for the El Loco Fire. Front to back looked good in the end. And Andre's got a 6 there. Maybe he should have done better with that one shot. And the Des Moines Demons, really, there's only really one side that should have won that. If you look at those ratings and you look at those, you think the El Loco Fire, the home side, definitely the solid team there. Francesco Toldo with a 9 has definitely got his team the 3 points as much as the goal. And Horse, as always, is very honest and very forthcoming when he feels as though he's been on the right of the wrong side of the result. We've got to take them in the All-Stars. Brings us to the classified. Drivetrain halt the run of the Steam Pigs, winning 3-1 with a brace from Michael Owen. The Des Moines Demons nicking one at the end there. A lot of late goals there tonight for the Des Moines Demons, 1-0. Dandies and Memphis Reigns. Memphis Reigns playing out for kind of half an hour or so and extra time with 10 men. But neither side probably deserved to lose, and both gave it a really good go. Pelham beating the Gators 2-1, massive win for Dimble. Took the lead 2-0 up inside half an hour and then looked a bit poor for the rest of the game. But he got the result, and that's all that matters. The Bisons, again, looking really dominant. Pierre and Mendy at 2-0 up, and Alcatraz do find themselves in a little bit of a blip at the minute. Really not the form that they had early doors. And Vikings with another 90-minute goal, the second winner in the 90th minute against the Short Pumps loss. and say two match days does leave the tables looking like this. The Eastern Conference, it is the Bisons and the Vikings and Drivetrain who are storming ahead in a lockup for the first position. Memphis Reigns with Rocks back on the scenes do look. Oh, is it stuck on the scene? Oh, hang on. Why is that? Why has that done that? 2 seconds. Don't know why that's done that, Dimble. Thanks for letting me know, though. Where are we at? 2 seconds, boys. Yeah, I've got no idea why that has happened, and I cannot fix it straight away. So I'll just let you know that in the Central Division, we've got the Central Conference, we've got Alcatraz on 20, Pelham on 16, Dandies on 13, Aldogo on 4. And the Western, Steam Pigs on 19, Des Moines on 17, Gators on 17, and Shaw Pump Sloths on 9. Cheers for your time tonight, guys. I'm going to watch the back end of the Madrid City and Bayern Arsenal games, and if that doesn't drag on to extra time, I'll get packs out tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow, mate. And we shall see you on Sunday with Kitchen Dan. Up the All-Stars.